Hello, my name is Jill Bowen, CEO of Northwestern Medical Center and your host of the NMC Health Beat Show, dedicated to discussing important healthcare topics of interest to our community. Today, I'm joined by Kristen Tuttle from our Care Management Department and Jessica Scanlon Corliss. She's a laboratory assistant at NMC. They're here to talk about the Jim Bashaw Fund and the upcoming Bowl-a-Thon that supports this important community resource. So thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us, Jill.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. I'm so interested to learn more and the background about the Jim Bashaw Memorial Cancer and Catastrophic Fund. So maybe you could start off and ground our viewers in what is this fund?
Yeah. It was previously known as the Northwestern Medical Center Catastrophic Illness Fund. In 2001, though, it was renamed after Jim to memorialize him and all of what he did for our community. Having been based as a teacher here at BFA, guidance counselor, and amazing basketball coach, or even more so as a mentor to students and our youth of the community.
Wow. That touches my heart already, and we haven't even started yet. Right? That's terrific. So what is it used for? I mean, how does it help the community?
Yeah, so patients apply for the fund, and it covers all kinds of things. So people use it for medical things that aren't covered by their insurance is sort of the short version. So there's lots of things that people can apply for, and I usually tell people if you're not sure if it's going to be covered, apply anyway, because sometimes we just use that to help you find other places to fund it if it doesn't necessarily fit the fund.
So it's been around for quite a while. What is it, around 15 years or so now?
It's been renamed as the Jim Bashaw the Jim Bashaw Fund since 2001, but we're celebrating our 26th annual Bowl-a-Thon this March.
Really?
Yes.
So the Bowl-a-Thon went to the original fund as well. So, well, what kind of impact has it had, this fund?
So I'm the oncology care manager, and I help patients apply for this a lot of times. It's been able to fund things and make a huge difference for people, especially things that they haven't been able to afford. So medications that the copay, even though their insurance covers it, is really big. The fund can help to pay for a couple months of that while we help find a long-term solution to that problem, to pay for ramps to build so that people can get into their homes, which helps them be able to get out of the hospital or a rehab facility sooner, just all kinds of stuff, an air conditioner to help with your breathing so that you're not in the ER lots of times for breathing problems. So it's creative, it's a community solution, it's a great resource to patients in this area.
Now, how did the two of you become attached to this this fund? I can feel your passion.
In 2006, my mom in January was diagnosed with non-small cell lung cancer. And she had insurance, but like what Kristen has said, is insurance does a fantastic job at covering most things, but it's the little things that people don't think about that is sometimes difficult on a patient. Gas money to get to doctor's appointments, those prescription co-pays. When you're that sick, you'll try a prescription one week, it's not working, we got to change it up. That requires another co-pay to have that next prescription filled.
Wow.
Again, gas money to radiation trips, chemotherapy, groceries sometimes. It's those little things in between that when you're stricken with an illness is just not covered by insurance. And my mom felt the effect of that, definitely. Wow. She worked at a local factory here in town, and it gave us that little bit of a help, a nudge in the right direction. And after my mom was granted the money, I vowed that we were going to pay it back. So we were granted a sum of money that at that next Bowl-a-Thon I was able to raise under my name and give back to the fund, and it just kind of grew from there. Whoa. It was fun and exciting. It was a challenge given to other departments to see within the hospital setting what can we do to bring to this fund.
That's beautiful.
And it stays in our community. That's the other major point, is that it stays right here in Franklin and Grand Isle communities. So when you donate to this fund, it's helping your family, your friends, your neighbor. You're helping locally, and that's really what the gift is right there.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's terrific. What about you or your connection?
So for me, I'm the oncology care manager for Northwestern Medical Center. So I interact with a lot of the patients in the community that have cancer. Not all patients that come to Northwestern Medical Center, some get their treatment elsewhere, but they still qualify for my services. And this fund gives me some place to be able to get them a little bit of a cushion, a little bit of relief. It helps financially. It also helps hugely in their emotional health, just having that little bit in their pocket to not have to stress about paying for something. So I became active with the fund that way, and then my position helps to set up and coordinate the Bowl-a-Thon and some of the other fundraisers also. So that sort of sits underneath my position as well. So.
Great,
yeah.
Great. We're grateful to have you.
Yeah.
So where does the money come from?
The Jim Bashaw Fund is totally funded by donations. So we have two major fundraisers that we do, the Bowl-a-Thon, which is every year in March, and the Run for Jim, which is every year in May. Sherry Bashaw, Jim's wife, still manages the run and sets that up. She connects really well with the community for that. And then we at the hospital at Northwestern have a group of folks that get together and plan the Bowl-a-Thon every March. In addition to that, in recent years, the girls basketball teams at MVU and BFA have started a powder puff football game, and they donate a big chunk of that to the fund in memory of Jim. And then the rest is all just local donations. So people that put it in their obituaries, people that community companies that make donations, get together and do that, and then just individual people. Some, like Jessica said, where they donate it back when they get flush years later. There's a lot of that. But Jim was important to the community here, and so just being involved with that and people being able to give back to that has been a draw.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like the Bowl-a-Thon is the next thing up, right?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that event. When is that? And
we're very excited about that. That's going to be March 11th. It's a Saturday. The Enosburg Dairy Center is going to be hosting again. Very excited about that. Again, it's important to keep it within our community, so we wanted to keep it up here. We are going to have two sessions. We have the first session, we have 10 lanes to fill, and the second session, we have 10 lanes to fill. We're looking to have 6 members to a team. And we're hoping that each bowler can raise a minimum of $50. But like I said, challenge each other to see what you can bring in, because that competitive spirit really pays off.
I can feel it. So how can people get involved? So what's the best way to get connected on this Bowl-a-Thon?
By calling me.
Okay.
So I take all of the team registration. So you can call me 524-8479. That's my phone number. And then I'll get the name and email out the information. We've reached out to a lot of the community partners, but if there's other people that are interested, we are really glad to involve whoever would want to do that.
Okay, so let's drum up some of that little competitive nature in the community. Do you have some stories that you can tell about the fund, that the compelling stories that makes people want to be involved and to participate?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stories like Jess's mom's story. There's a slew of those in the community where the fund was able to pay for something that that the person couldn't afford. So I think, in general for cancer patients, there are new oral targeted therapies for cancer that are very expensive. And even when covered by insurance, their copays can be hundreds of dollars a month. And I know in several cases recently, the fund was able to cover at least a few months of that medicine. If they hadn't been able to do that, those physicians would have had to have chosen a second line therapy or a therapy that might not have given them the same benefit. And so they're able to get that first line new therapy that they might not have been able to get otherwise. The other big thing that I think of is we've funded a couple of ramps recently that helped people get out of rehab sooner. So being able to put a ramp on the front of the house or from one room to the next to be able to get them mobile has been huge.
And again, it stays right in our community. So knowing that you're helping your friends, your family, your neighbors, when you make a donation to this foundation, it's going directly to somebody that you potentially could know.
That's terrific. Do you have a sense about the grants that you've been giving out? Like, what type of money are we talking about? Numbers of grants? I Are you giving out just a couple or a year, or do you have a scope of size or anything?
It's pretty widely used. So since the inception of the Jim Bashaw Fund in 2001, the fund has given out about 832 grants, totaling a little over $465,000. And that's all
so we're
from
talking real
community.
Money goes to the community.
That's all from community. Just in 2016, we granted 92 grants, totaling over $45,000. So this is
fantastic.
Right?
This makes a big difference in the community, and it's lots of small grants. So it's just giving people that enough to get a leg up and get back into being flush and on top of things. It's not huge grants that are paying for giant things. It's just being able to provide enough.
Sometimes it's those everyday needs that are needed.
Yeah, definitely. That gap, to fill the gap that you had
Yes.
mentioned, that bridge, just to, and that's, I can imagine that emotional tug that it has when you give even a small gift to make that small bridge, that it gives hope. Gives hope. So that's tremendous. So how do people access the fund? I mean, is there an application process? I mean, how do people know if they qualify for something like this?
Yeah, there is. The rules are pretty broad and pretty general. You have to be a resident of Franklin or Grand Isle County. You have to have a financial need, and it is specified for patients with cancer or catastrophic illness. So catastrophic illness we try to think of as a sudden onset, complicated illness. I think of like a heart attack or a stroke, sometimes an amputation that was unexpected, those kinds of things. Sometimes longer term resource intensive, so like MS or lupus, that can be very expensive over time. Sometimes those fund. I always suggest everybody apply though, even if you're not sure, because a member of the care management team can connect with patients, and even if it doesn't fit the Jim Bashaw Fund, we will help those people find other sources of funding for their requests. That said, on the hospital website, so Northwestern Medical's main hospital website, if you go to the search column up in the upper right corner and type in Jim Bashaw, it brings you to a page that has all of the qualifications for what would apply for the fund. It has an online application, so you can apply right there online, or you can print a paper application from that site as well. It has some information about Jim, it has the qualifications, it's all sort of right there on that page through the main hospital website.
That's terrific. Okay. So going to our website and also contacting you potentially.
Yep.
And your phone number again was 524?
8479.
8479. Okay, great. So we want to make sure that our viewers get connected, because I bet folks are out there thinking, wait a minute, I know somebody, or I'm going through this right now. So what if people were interested to actually giving to the fund and say, wait a minute, I want to give now, I want to write a check now? The same thing. They would give you a call?
Yep,
or
they can give me a call. I'd get them connected with the development department. That's who takes all. But there is also on the hospital website a place to make a donation, and there's a drop down to choose where you specifically want it to go to.
Excellent.
So that can happen through the website as well, and you can choose the Jim Bashaw Fund right there. But they can give me a call. I can get them connected to the development department, who could definitely take a donation.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So our time is coming to a close, but what does this mean to each of you? Maybe you could just kind of wrap it up, our show today, about what does it mean to each of you to be part of this, and why do you feel it's so important?
For me, I'm a local yokel. I was born and raised in this community, and just being able to give back and support the people that I know and I love, that's tremendous. That's, again, it's a gift in its own right there, to be able to raise money to help the people that need. And like you said, it's the hope and even the relief of having that comfort for just to tide you over to get to that next step, and to be able to be hands on it is pretty amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
And for me, in my position, I get to have a really unique relationship with patients, and I look at my role as really just being able to make things easier for patients with cancer or with catastrophic illnesses, and this is just another tool sort of in my arsenal to be able to pull out and help smooth something, help make something go easier. Having a cancer diagnosis is hard, and so having something that I can actually give to them and make things easier is huge for me.
Great, thank you. A beautiful story today, ladies. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And the Bowl-a-Thon, March, did you say 11th?
March 11th,
March
Saturday.
11th. So call these ladies. And Kristen, your phone number is 524-8479. Or you can go to the website. You can look up the Jim Bashaw Fund. And it's so important to get connected. When you think about it, this is about community, taking care of community in some of our most vulnerable times. And that's what makes Franklin and Grand Isle County so very, very special. I'm Jill Bowen, the CEO of Northwestern Medical Center, and so grateful to be your host today for this wonderful show. So I hope you get involved with that Bowl-a-Thon. It takes 6 people to be on a team. Let's go, let's raise some money. There is no better cause. Thank you.